We came here to worship God, but sometimes we find ourselves focusing too much on how our praise and worship look like. Is the sound good? Good stage light? When we focus on human praise and human approval for our worship, it becomes a performance. When we worship God, when we serve God, if we seek human praise, human acknowledgement, we won't have reward from God. Matthew chapter 6, verse 1 through 6, and then verse 16 through 18. Be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets, to be honored by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. When you fast, do not look somber as the hypocrites do, for they disfigure their faces to show others they were fasting. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting, but only to your Father who is unseen, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. First, we can see that there are wrong motives in serving God. While they serve God, their purpose is seeking human praise. That is hypocrisy. They worship God, but in reality, they're seeking human glory. Human praise are visible affirmation, so we like it. So once we hear human praise, it's sweet, it's hard to resist it, deny it. That's why it says, be careful not to be shown in front of others your righteousness. Why no reward from God then? Because our motives are visible to God. Because if you have other purpose inside your heart when you approach God, people don't know what inner intention is, but God sees clearly. So it is not pleasing to God at all. Also, as the Bible says here, they have received their reward in full, because their purpose was not God's reward, human reward. They got their reward, so there's nothing from God. Now, how to apply to your life? First, whatever you do, whatever you serve God, do it in front of God, not in front of human. That is called coram Deo, which is Latin words. That means live before the face of God. Number 2, we try not to be shown in front of people while we serve God. But as a praise leader or preacher or church leaders, it's inevitable for them to receive human praise. At the moment that they receive human praise, I would suggest this way. Be careful not to enjoy human praise. Don't meditate too much what people say about your work. If you enjoy too much about human praise, you will be intoxicated by human glory and you will lose pure motive from your heart. And number 3, I suggest that if there's a work which doesn't show any visible reward or visible result of it, but it is clearly God's will, and just do it. Don't think about the result. Don't think about any outcome of what you're doing. If God's will, just do it. Be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. Have a good week.